brought to you by Southern Trust Home Services, 540-208-3425. Get into a Southern state.
Hey there, it's meteorologist Jamie Singleton. It's Tuesday afternoon, 1:24 p.m. You've been following me on my blog. You've been noticing that I posted some severe weather potential for Southside, especially this afternoon. Looks like they still may get some kind of severe weather event, at least intense activity moving east along this line here. Let me get this over where you can see it. It's moving east at 35 miles per hour, just passed over the station. We gusted to about 17 miles per hour here, but there's local 30 to 40 mile per hour winds in this. I'm looking for any kinks in the line, and something that does concern me now. What's this, Stokes County, North Carolina? I see a little bit of a kink there. You have to watch those because that's where you can sometimes get something spinning. So there's some rotation right in through here around Sandy Ridge. Doesn't scream tornado at all, but it is out there. So I'm going to kind of watch that develop over the next few minutes here, and also over the next 1 to 2 hours, this line will continue to push east into Gretna, Chatham, Alta Vista, Bedford. You'll see it. Not really the wind contrast, though, that we would need today for any kind of a severe weather in terms of spinning storms and tornadoes. Let me show you what I'm talking about. When we have a pronounced wedge in place and all the winds are combining here over the wedge, you get a lot of spin along the edge of the wedge. And now what's happened is the air mass is kind of modified, and it's all the winds are now coming in out of the southeast. So there's a little bit of a low pressure system here coming out of North Carolina, northwest Piedmont here, that may pull the surface winds in a little bit different towards the low pressure area because of friction, and that can create some low level shear. But overall, it's not a screaming event that's really up there in terms of high wind shear potential, but it was something I was watching and something I'll continue to watch over the next several hours. The HRRR has it going through Martinsville by around 2 o'clock and then through Danville about 3 o'clock. Danville to Lynchburg, Campbell County, and in the Charlotte County and Halifax County, South Boston by around 3 to 4 p.m. So really over the next 3 hours or so, this will be moving through the area fairly quickly and then passing on out of the area and allowing for, I think, some sunshine to build in for Wednesday. Here comes our next storm system, though. This is today's. This is the new GFS run. High pressure building in for Wednesday and Thursday. Now for Friday, for high school football, I'm not looking forward to this because it's going to rain hard, it looks like, or at least it will try to be raining as the storm system comes out of the south. You can see all that rain there out of Georgia and the Carolinas, an active pattern. And look at this heavy rain here, over 1.5 inches to 3 inches probably if you add that up over North Carolina as that low pressure system develops. So another 1 to 3 inches, I'd say, coming up this weekend. More than likely this is falling on Friday night into Saturday night. And then that low pressure system moves out, and we may see a couple of more weak waves on it early next week. Let's go back to the here now. Let me wave at a few folks, and you can see that eastern Franklin County now is getting the worst of that line, as well as northern Henry County, and then it kind of slows down here into North Carolina. I'm still kind of concerned about this comma shape that you see here in Stokes County near Sandy Ridge. That is something that you have to watch with these lines. You can sometimes get something along there. And if you're familiar with the Walkertown area, it's just pushed through there, and Winston-Salem going into Guilford County, Greensboro, and Eden here over the next 1 to 1.5 hours probably. It's moving pretty fast. Just some light to moderate rain in the Roanoke, and then if you go north in the Botetourt County and Lexington, it's a good soaking rain. So that's the good news. It's the southern part of the area that we typically watch for the possibility of severe weather. So not seeing a whole lot, but listen, if you're 40 mile an hour winds along this line, if it gets just 10 miles an hour stronger, National Weather Service would have to start putting out warnings. So you can bet they're watching this very carefully, and we're on the verge of seeing maybe some warnings being issued over the next 30 minutes or so. You can see that we've got a special weather statement in effect, a couple of them here, and I'll read you the latest one. The special weather statement is just below a severe thunderstorm warning. It's what they can put out kind of generically and broad brush some active weather moving through. And they're very, very accurate too. So I do like to share them with you. This is an SPS, special weather statement, a line of showers affecting Stokes, as I mentioned there, Rockingham, western Pennsylvania County and Virginia, Henry, southeastern Patrick County, Franklin counties, and the city of Martinsville. At 1:10, radar indicated showers were located from Franklin County into Henry County, movement east at 35 miles an hour. That's some pretty gusty winds. That will transfer that momentum down for you if you get that heavy rain. Winds in excess of 40 miles an hour possible with the showers. Locations impacted: Eden, Martinsville, Rocky Mount. Rocky Mount's already seen it. Let's see, Wentworth, Mayadam, Madison, and Walnut Cove. You've got a lot of rainfall occurring with these torrential showers too, so localized flooding is always a possibility. And even though we're in a drought, it could be a lot of rain, in a short amount of time. So continuing to watch this line move off to the east, and again, you can see the reds have increased in intensity. You notice just as it jumps east of the mountains, it's getting heavier, and it may be moving a bit faster. So I do anticipate the possibility here, if you're watching in Pittsylvania County and Halifax County, keep your guard up here a little bit. Don't let it down into the next 2 to 3 hours. Campbell County, Charlotte Courthouse, South Hill, this area. I'd also be watching from Greensboro to Raleigh-Durham and to northern parts of North Carolina, just south of Danville and Caswell County, Yanceyville. You want to watch this line very carefully because it looks like they're trying to form in a more discrete individual storms here rather than a line on the southern flank of this. So that's something to watch. A line would be just what we're seeing now and probably non-severe, but if they become more discrete, you can get something severe there as well. So it's not widespread at the moment, but it's enough to grab your attention, and it's something to watch as that area of low pressure, it's a weak one there, forms in northwest North Carolina and pulls northward. Here it is on GR Earth. This is the dry slot. This is the leaf that we call it, a leaf of moisture being pulled north, and that's always a sign when you see a leaf of a wave of low pressure. I've got the significant tornado parameter plotted for you here, and where you see it is where we're going south into the parts of North Carolina. So it's not up into our area at all, and it's pretty weak where it is into the Carolinas, but still kind of watching this area very carefully as it moves off to the east. You always have to keep an eye out for that kind of a setup. Temperatures outside 63 in Roanoke, 63 in Lynchburg, 64 in Martinsville, but look at the upper 60s, lower 70s here in the Carolina. And I've got the most unstable Cape plotted here. I think it's 90 millibar to 1,000. I'm not sure what that index is actually. It's not the surface Cape. It's more of a mixed Cape, but you can see that's energy potential for storms. It's creeping into Danville and the Reedsville as well as we get a new scan. So borderline severe. We'll see if it goes severe here for you in Southside, but it's over and done with. Other than just some showers for the Roanoke Valley area up to Lexington and the NRV, you're done with the rain. It'll be cooling off and becoming a bit breezy into the evening hours. This is the area to watch here in the south side. So I'm going to draw real quick here, if I can, a line, a manual track. Let's see. I need to go to my NextRad tab, and I'm going to go to manual tracking, and we'll see if I can draw this. And go there. Now we're going to move it east at 30. Or 35, right? There we go. All right. And I'll take off that interaction there. So we zoom on in here, and you can see that Danville, it'd be around 2:10 p.m. if it keeps on this path. Gretna in the path here at 2:07. Chatham at 2:02. Alta Vista 2:06. Bedford 1:43 in the next 10 minutes. Lynchburg about 2:10. I don't think it's going to be that strong around Lynchburg, but we'll see. Let me tilt it here so you can see the entire line as it goes into North Carolina. You can see Greensboro would be around 1:54. Reidsville at 2 o'clock on the nose. Martinsville, seeing it kind of bend around Martinsville right now. Not seeing a lot of activity there just as of yet, but I am watching, again, the where these intersections occur, where these little notches develop here. So some broad rotation trying to get going. You can see in Patrick County, Reynolds Homestead, you've got a southeast wind, almost east-southeast, and that's because this area of low pressure that's plotted here near Hickory is starting to move north, and it's pulling the surface winds into this thing. But it's not enough to get the rotation going. We needed a front through Southside to add a third element to the spin, I believe. But still seeing some straight line winds and some very gusty conditions here, very heavy rainfall as it moves east through the area. So I'm going to end this update for now. I'll jump back on if I have any severe weather to tell you about. Let's leave you with this image here. Again, the area is plotted for you south of Lynchburg and the Greensboro. That's my watch area for the next let's see, hour or so. Watching that as it moves to the east. I'll have more updates if necessary later this afternoon.